Okay, the last time we met, we were talking about Irab, and we said Irab are basically case endings. So at a later stage, we are going to expand more on the nominative case, accusative case, so you can know which one is which. But for purposes of understanding this better, that's why we split it to case 1, case 2, and case 3, so that you can easily grasp the logic behind it. Then at a later stage, we can expound more on each case for those that will be interested. And we say that, for example, like this word, Muslimun, we cannot write it as Muslim. No. Under grammatical order, you will find that we use the word Muslimun. We are adding this tanween. Okay? You hear of the word Muslimin, Musliman. Why do we use these things? At some stage, you're going to understand this better. However, you realize that this word, Muslimun, is an indefinite ism. Indefinite. And we said for us to make an ism definite, we shall use al. Al. So you will see something like this, al. Now there is an important rule here which I want you to know before we go any further. What does the rule say? Now forget every other thing and understand this rule. Tanween and al cannot appear on the same ism. It will either be al or tanween, but not both. So do not expect a situation where you will have tanween and al at the same time. So whenever you see tanween, you know that this ism is indefinite. And when you see al, then you'll know that the ism is definite. So for this particular ism, if you remember well, for the simple for this word Muslim, if you remember well, we had here Muslim, then you had Muslim, see, something like this, something like this, and something like this. So now what happens? What happens is that we are going to have, when we add al to make it definite, we are going to have now you see, instead of tanween, we are putting this. Okay, so the word which was Muslimun is now becoming al-Muslim. Al-Muslim. Okay, and what will this become? This will become al-Muslima. And what will this become? Al-Muslimi. So not, because what does this rule say? That tanween and al cannot appear on the same ism. So now when you're making this definite, you'll not say al-Muslimun. No, it will be al-Muslim, and this one will become al-Muslima. So on the duo, now notice something here which is pretty much interesting. Duo will be all was, considering this same example, we say duo because this was singular. Now duo would be Musliman, then here duo case 2 would be Muslimain, and then case 3 again Muslimain. Now you see Muslimain, Muslimain. Now we want to bring in al. What will it be when we bring in al? Okay, I'll get this. Because now notice something here. On this word, on the dual case, this does not have any tanween. And remember the rule is tanween and al do not meet on the same isim. So it means this won't change. We shall simply put al-Musliman. We simply add al. Why? Because if you notice this, there is no tanween, so it will not change, pretty much change. Again, when we go to the second case, it will be al-Muslimain, and this one also will be al-Muslimain. So there is pretty normal change because this is the duo. Okay, now let us look at the plural. Let us look at the plural. This was Muslimuna, Muslimun. Now when we come to look at this, again you will notice that this one still does not have a tanween. So it will simply be al-Muslimun. You see? Why? Because there was no tanween in the first case. Okay, same. Second case was Muslimina. Okay, and the third case was also Muslimina. Now look at this. Third case and second case are all Muslimina. So now, what did this become in a definite case when we add al? Still, you should notice there is no tanween, so it will simply be al-Muslimina. And here it will still be al-Muslimin. So it is that easy. There is no complication at all. But now let us look at the complex. I think this is where you need to pay some extra attention. The complex. In the complex, we used the noun for boy. That's what we used for complex. And we want to see how does it turn out for a complex. Okay. Okay, let's use the word that we used, walad. We had first case, we had waladun. You see, we are using the tanween, waladun. Now, because we are saying that a tanween and al cannot meet on the same line, this will become al-waladu. When you add al to wa, it will not be split, so it will appear al-walad. Okay, and in the second case, it was waladan. Waladan. So waladan will become al-walada. Al-walada. And third case was waladin. And in this case, it will become al-walad. So it is that easy. We're saying what happens if it's a definite? What happens if it's an indefinite? So here you can see what happened. Now this being singular. Okay, we can now briefly borrow. We can now briefly see what happens in duo. Duo, like you noticed in the first case, there is no much change because there is no tanween. What was duo? Was waladan. Then here waladain. And third case was also waladain. So when you add the definite, what does waladan and waladain become? Okay, it will become al-waladan, al-waladan, and this one will become al-waladain, al-waladain, and this will also become al-waladain. Okay, so you can now see what the duo looks like. This is the duo. Pretty much easier if you pay some close attention to it. Okay, now everybody say now we come to the plural. You remember we said the word waladun, plural is awladun. So this town awladun, then awladan, awladan, okay, then awladi. أولادا أولاد. Okay, now here is where it gets a little bit tricky on plural. It gets a little bit tricky and you need to open your eyes wide. What does this become? Notice this is a. We are adding al. And this is how it will look. First, it was أولاد الأولاد الأولاد. Okay, this is how this will look. This is definite, this is indefinite. Because we are now making it indefinite, you see we are replacing the tanween with this dhamma, you see. Dun to do. Okay, so same will go along. Okay, and the last one will be taking the D. So when you look at this, they will help you to understand the thing in the best format, because now here we are best concentrating on what happens if it becomes definite was indefinite. Now what happens when it is definite? Now when you look, the biggest emphasis that you can ever hold onto this is to note that what was the tanween here has turned into this. So this is indefinite and this is definite. Okay, this is indefinite and this is definite. This is how easy these things can ever be if you choose to give them some time, you understand them better. Feminine. Of course, you're going to handle this feminine bit also in a while so that we don't leave it pending. You remember we had was like janatun, okay? You remember the word we used? It was jannatun. Now jannatun will become jannat. Okay, al-jannat. Okay, then al-jannata. Then al-jannat. The duo will not change much because there is no tanween. It will also be al-jannatan. Then hope we can also put it, no problem. Then al-jannatain. And also here الجنتين. See, الجنتين. Then the last bit of the plural will be الجنات. Okay, الجنات. Then الجنات. And الجنات also, the last one. So this is how it's going to look like, and this is how easy it is going to be all the time for the indefinite and definite. So you only need to come back or refer to them and see. Maybe you can also help us to do the one for kitabun. Show us how it will happen. Show us how you'll make it definite, and all the other nouns and all the other isms that we have so far looked at. So that's going to be for today. I want you to listen about this thing. Listen, go through it. You can go through it another time. You can go through it the third time, up to the time when you feel you have grasped this concept. We are now going to head to something so big, and it will be so good if you understand these concepts pretty well. It will help you to move to the second level. So before you go to the next level, please make sure you understood these pretty well. Thank you so much.